All right, so here we have the Cutluxe barbecue knife set. This is going to include a 12-inch slicing knife as well as a 6-inch boning knife. Both of these feature Paco wood handles, ergonomic design, a full Tang construction, and are made of 14116 German steel. That's equivalent of 5 CR15 MOV here in the States. All right, so we're going to go ahead. We'll talk about the knives here. We'll do a quick demonstration on this tri-tip here and just give our overall thoughts. Before that, I want to thank Cutluxe for sending us these knives so we can do this demo and review for you guys. All right, so starting off with the design. The ergonomic design of the handle is absolutely fantastic. It bulges out, you can see here in the profile, just a little bit in the middle and at the back. That pommel keeps it nice and firm in your hand, while the tapered bolsters are extremely comfortable while you're holding them. Now, you don't need to pinch grip a boning knife or a slicing knife, but I do appreciate that on any chef's knives or any fine-tuned knives that you might be using. The weight is also pretty good. It is a little bit balanced towards the handles. They are a little chunkier, so just keep that in mind. If you have very small hands, maybe you would notice that, but it feels really good and gives you a lot of confidence while cutting. The steel type here, this 5CR 15 MOV equivalent, this is German stainless steel. It's like a middle of the road steel in terms of edge retention versus ease of sharpening. Those two are generally in opposites of each other. The more it retains an edge, the harder it's going to be to sharpen. So for a kitchen knife, these are going to be really pretty favorable on both sides. Very well balanced. You can sharpen them pretty easily, whether using a whetstone, a rolling sharpener, or some other kind of sharpener, and they're going to hold up pretty well for you in terms of edge retention, which, especially because you're mostly going to be using this on meat, shouldn't be the largest problem. But for the boning knife, you will be hitting bone quite a bit while you're using it. So, all right, so let's go through and talk about the slicing knife here. Love the slicing knife. This is going to be a 2mm thick spine, which is, I think, a very good thickness for a knife this long. It gives it a lot of firmness here. Also, same thing with the handle. Good ergonomic handle. Gives you a lot of confidence when you're using it. And then we have the Granton edge here, these little scallops. These are going to prevent food from sticking as well to the side of the blade while doing long strokes. Now, you might ask, why do you need a 12-inch slicing knife? And that's to do long cuts. You want to do long cuts. That way you're not sawing into the meat. You want to do one long. So if you're doing fish, it's really nice with slicing knives, especially if you're preparing something like sashimi. You may want to use a slicing knife for that. Also, delicate pieces of meat. So if you're carving a turkey or a brisket, long single stroke is what you want. We have a tri-tip here. We're going to go ahead and do a quick demo for you guys. And I'm going to slice it against the grain here. So we'll just go ahead and start here. And there we go. We can slice right there. We'll do a really thin one because that's really what you're hoping to do with this guy. So our nice thin cuts. There we go. That's what I want to see. Nice thin cut. And there we go. That's the one that we want right there. So you can see we've got very nice. We haven't really sawed through any of the cell fibers. They're all mostly intact. That's exactly what you want. And of course, a juicy medium rare piece of meat as well. All right, so we'll do one with the boning knife, even though obviously this meat doesn't have bones, just to show you that it's going to work just as well. So I'll take a nice little thin slice here. And you can see I have to move that knife back and forth a lot more with the boning knife because it's so much shorter. And then you get stuff like that. So still works very well. You still get a nice clean slice, not damaging the cell walls, and good piece of meat. So that's the Cutluxe barbecue knife set. Some things that I think they could possibly improve upon. While I love the 12-inch, it does make it a little harder to store. So having a sheath, like a plastic one that could go around this while it's not in the box, or put it in your drawer, that would be a nice thing to have. And then I think maybe just 1 more inch on the boning knife. Now, it depends on what kind of things you're deboning, but if you're doing large pieces of meat going around like a knuckle or anything like that, this one is going to work, but it will be a little smaller. Same thing if you're trying to debone like an entire turkey or something like that. This might be a little bit on the small side, but working on a chicken or a duck, this will be great. All right, so I think that's really it. Very easy to maintain, easy to use, great quality, slice as well. That's the Cutluxe barbecue knife set.